To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business to approve the minutes from April 12th, 2021.
I'll make the motion.
Tim's moved.
I'll second.
Don seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Consent agenda. Move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign Coffee County payroll notice for Daryl Warner, new hire, subject to new hire, IPP Sheriff's Office Jailer, classification 25-A, wage $15.72, effective 4/19/21. I'll move.
I'll second.
Don seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Move to authorize and direct the chairman to sign Coffee County payroll notice for Jessica S. Stice, resignation Sheriff's Office Deputy, effective 4/22/21. I have not read the letter. I assume that we have it here somewhere.
You know, when somebody's stepping down, I don't remember us having to authorize direct chairman to sign the payroll notice.
I don't,
You know, we were just usually given one by the department. I thought that was odd that we got that.
okay.
I thought maybe something new.
Again, I haven't seen a resignation letter. Do you have one or whatever?
No,
Okay. Well, we'll just, you have a payroll notice then to sign?
well, usually the department head gives us one to let us know that employee's leaving, but we haven't ever done a motion like
To my
this.
knowledge, we've never done a motion. So can we just table this
Or you can just not do
or
it.
not do it?
Yeah.
That'd be my suggestion, Mr. Chairman, but
Okay. Oh, well, section A, that one then. How's that? I don't know if that's a legal term to use, but
we can make a motion.
Okay, the next one I have in the book is on the recommendation of county attorney. Move to approve payment of the Goldberg Group Architect invoice in the amount of $32,500 for the Coffee County Courthouse New Justice Center study. Funds to come from general fund, courthouse general, professional, technical line item.
Also move.
Bob's moved.
Second.
Jesse second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The invoice is there if you wish to. The next in the book, and which we can, if you guys want, wait to do these. We have several vacancies that have been handed to us too. As far as Wayne's stuff, do you want to look them over before we just go through it, or? Just a question in there.
I had one out there for the audit engagement letter. The auditor forgot to give us that last year in July,
Yeah,
and so that's another one you might want to do.
yeah, I have this one here. That's why this, in the book here, I was going through them. They were, like I say, if you want to cover Wayne's before we go, save it for tail end, or,
We can save it for tail end, I don't care. I looked at all of them over the weekend, so.
as long as everybody's okay to proceed, we'll just proceed. Good? Okay. So, motion 2021-17, move to accept and sign CP2 for Delford Jamison Summer Help, subject to regular IPP, wage classification 5D, with a wage of $13.51, effectively 4/19/21, number of hours worked not to exceed 1,000.
I'll move.
Jesse's moved,
I'll second.
Tim has seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. 2021-18, based upon the recommendation of the county engineer and approval as to form by the county attorney to authorize and direct the chairman to sign contract documents with Bettis Asphalt and Construction Incorporated of Topeka, Kansas for project A2101, hot mix asphalt. I don't know if I need to go into all the details of it, but just 1.5 inch layer hot mix, 26 foot in width on Emmer Road, Fourth Road to 58 Highway.
I'll move.
Bob moved,
I'll second.
Don seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2021-19, based upon the recommendation of the county engineer and approval as performed by the county attorney to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the contract documents with Bettis Asphalt Construction Topeka for A2102 hot mix asphalt project, 1.5 inch overlay on Links Road to 11th and Quail and 11th Road.
I'll make that motion.
Tim has moved,
I'll second.
Jesse seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
2021-20, based upon the recommendation of county engineer and approval as performed by county attorney to authorize and direct the chairman to sign contract documents with Bettis Asphalt Construction Topeka for A2103 hot mix asphalt project, approximately 2 3/4 miles, 1.5 inches, 26 foot in width, with the destinations placed there.
I'll make that motion.
Tim's moved,
I'll second.
Jesse seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Based 21-21, based upon the recommendation of county engineer and approval as performed by county attorney to authorize and direct the chairman to sign contract documents with Bettis Asphalt Incorporated, Topeka, Kansas for 2104 hot mix asphalt project, 2 miles in length, 1.5 inch overlay, 26 foot in width with destinations as presented.
I'll move.
Bob moved. Jesse seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Based upon the recommendation of county engineer and approval as performed by county attorney to authorize and direct the chairman to sign contract documents with APAC Kansas Shears Division, Emporia, Kansas for A2105 hot mix asphalt, approximately 2 miles inch milling and 2 miles 1.5 inch overlay. Again, with destinations listed.
I'll move. I'll second.
Jesse's moved, Tim seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Based upon the recommendation of county engineer and approval as performed by county attorney to authorize and direct the chairman to sign contract documents with Bettis Asphalt and Construction Incorporated, Topeka for 2107C hot mix asphalt project, 1/10 mile of milling and 1/10 mile, 1.5 inch overlay, 26 foot in width. Again, destinations listed.
I'll move.
Jesse's moved,
I'll second.
Tim seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Based upon the recommendation of the county attorney, or excuse me, of the county engineer, and approval of the county attorney as to form, we would find that 2016 International 7600 dump truck, VIN number ending in 07695 with dump body is no longer required and cannot prudently be used for public purposes of Coffee County, and such should be disposed of by sale or auction. Notice of the board's intention to dispose of said property will be published on April 29th and May 6th in the official county newspaper.
I'll move.
Jesse's moved,
I'll second.
Tim seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. And we did have this discussion, I believe, last week or week before on that truck, correct?
One is just launched.
Yeah. Just,
Have they got the truck back in our possession now, or not, that I'm aware of? Yeah, I haven't followed up on it either.
just so the public knows, we did have that discussion on that vehicle. Based upon the recommendation of county engineer, move to approve the purchase of a maintenance agreement with Foley Equipment Company, Caterpillar, Chanute, for motor grader B-20023, in the amount of $5.62 per hour of equipment usage for the planned term, earliest of 7,250 hours for 29 services as per contract. Funds to be paid from the road and bridge fund.
Also,
Jones moved,
So,
Tim seconded. Tim seconded.
That one.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We had that discussion on that particular item.
Yeah, we did.
We do have several abatements. First one would be to move and authorize direct the chairman to sign the audit engagement letter with Jared Gilmore Phillips, PA, to perform audit services for Coffee County, Kansas, year ended December 31st, 2021.
also,
Jones moved,
Second.
Bob seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. And we were handed a folder with a bunch of abatements. Do we want to? These all say the same dollar amount.
Oh, those are copies for each of
probably
them.
one of each one.
Same thing. I get it. So there's just one. I was like, man,
This
that's
is the
a
one
stack
for
of
you to
them.
sign.
Okay,
Sign the one on the back there.
okay.
This motion to amend 20,
Oh, yes, it is.
2021. The motion we just passed just said December 31st, 2020 instead of 2021. Because we're doing the audit on last year's
Yes.
budget instead of,
It is for
So it should be-
Change it to one.
Do we want to rescind that, or you want to just,
as per.
so we'll move to authorize the director chairman to sign the audit engagement letter with Jared Gilmore Phillips, PA, to perform audit services, Coffee County, Kansas, year ending December 31st, 2020. Correct?
Yeah,
Opposed
correct.
to 2021. Yeah. So,
So moved.
Jones moved.
All second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So, move and authorize the director chairman to sign one abatement in the amount of $69.60. Excuse me.
I'll move.
All second.
Justin moved, Tim seconded. Like the reading there is fairly clear, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Morning, Wade.
That gets us through all of that. Next is department head salaries. Who's taking the lead on that? You?
Well, I don't know if I'm taking the lead, but I've got, I think it was added to the agenda on Friday at some point. My suggestion is that it be tabled and dealt with in full next week. In the meantime, that would allow each of the department heads to collect and provide any information or documentation, one way or another, for the board to collectively entertain as a whole. I know it may make a difference, it may not, but that way that it's done right, each department head is handled simultaneously at the same time. And I'm not sure the time slot that we have right now is enough time to even deal with everything as a whole. That's my recommendation. You can choose to move however you want, but that's what my suggestion would be.
I would agree with Wade. I was gonna mention today that I think a lot of times I don't think, I'll back up and say, I'm not sure any one of us realized when we made a motion about the salary study that we were, as Jesse's terminology was, moving the goalpost on anyone. I don't think that was any of us' intent. But things do get kind of rushed here sometimes, if you ask me, that just a study session of that particular subject in the morning, we can take a lunch break, come back in the afternoon and vote on it. I mean, just so that we're more clear as to, trying to jam as much into a 3-hour meeting in the morning and making basically as Wayne described a train wreck of this salary study. So, I mean, apologize to anyone that we may have offended or penalized in this process, but I think the salary study was done in good faith, and I think we hired the right firm to do it. We just maybe went through things a little too fast to realize, and like I said, I don't know if anybody here realized we were removing the goalpost. That was very good terminology. I'm gonna use that if you don't mind, but I sure didn't. My concentration was on several other things, so sit down one-on-one with each department head, fine by me, or however you want to determine.
What kind of a timeline do you think we're gonna need? What, 2 hours?
Again, I would just go back to, even on Wayne's stuff, I mean, it's like Lisa's the only one basically on this schedule today, so to speak, that, we give her time allotted, and we have a open discussion, and we can take lunch and come back, or we can have lunch catered. I don't really care, but after we've ate, we can make a decent rushed decision. Vote on it after lunch. We're dedicated to a Monday. I mean, I'm here all day Monday. I don't care if it takes till 5 o'clock. I'm here.
So several, we have two different things going on. One is we have elected officials that will be discussed. And the study session, I think, just so it's clear, would be open to whoever wanted to attend to be a part of it. I mean, I would assume when you're talking about salaries and that type of thing. But I do think that somebody that the department head or an elected official has information they feel the board needs to take into consideration in making that decision. And I don't think historically that ultimately the board gets to make that decision. But there may be some mitigating information or aggravating information one way or another, and those are what terms that are used on the criminal side. So maybe aggravating is not the right word, but I think you understand what I'm saying.
It can be aggravating. You can use that word.
Aggravating in the criminal side means something completely different, but I think you get the point. That would be my suggestion. That way, in all fairness to each of the department heads and elected officials, they feel like their voice has been heard. May not be.
I agree. Instead of rushing them through here.
So I don't know if you're okay with that. Yeah, that's.
So you want to table this department head discussion and let Lisa get on with hers?
That would be my suggestion. And we're not really.
And then we can set department heads on the agenda for next week at the same time and devote 2 hours to that.
But we're gonna have the county engineer on the agenda next week because it's every other week. So you might want to have the county engineer. Then I don't know if there's anything else that's already been pre-placed on the agenda, but
Just the engineer so far.
okay.
So far, there could be people comments
Sure.
this week.
Just,
Well, we already did most of these motions, so I don't know if you want to speak to him, make sure he only needs, if he needs 30 minutes or whatever, make him aware that we're gonna do this and go the rest of the time with them.
so my suggestion would be the department heads be set at 10, and then if there needs to be filler before then, but if at the end of the week, if there's not any filler, other topics, then to start going backwards and then send out the amended agenda that backs it up to, for example, 9:45 or whatever it might be.
Anybody else, anything to add?
Yeah.
I just think that the study session, or whatever you want to call it, so a good idea, I really. Just we're here for Mondays, we're being paid a decent wage to be here. Mondays are dedicated to this for me.
Yeah, I think we, pretty well keep our Mondays open as we should. You know, if it takes 2 hours to do the agenda, or it takes 5, 6 hours, that's just part of it.
Well, and
And I think there's a little bit more investigation going on, and I know I visited with Wade a little bit, that, tabling until next week, to me, is where we got more time allotted for, is gonna be a plus.
Good. So with that, I guess that brings Lisa to the front. We'll just, like I said, we'll, of course, Wade suggests we give Wayne a couple hours and then choose the department heads after that. At least a couple hours for that. If it ain't enough, we'll take lunch and we'll come back.
Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Well, my first order of business actually is to present a recommendation that we kind of need to do as we work through implementation. With the sheriff's reorganization and election, we need to add an assistant jail supervisor position to the salary schedule. There has not been one in the past. He has added that position so that between the jail supervisor and the assistant supervisor, there's formal supervision 24/7. I utilize the point factoring and salary data that I used on the rest of the study and recommend that that new position be placed in range 40. I've discussed that with the sheriff. Double check the duties and responsibilities and the recommendation, and he's in agreement with that placement. And I'm not sure how you want to handle those. I mean, this is, as not an employee of Coffee County, I know your department heads usually bring you a motion, and I don't really feel like I have standing to do that. So I just alert you to that, and whether county councilor or someone else actually formally brings that. I'm working on the job descriptions, and there are other reorganizations in the sheriff's department. He's eliminated 2 administrative positions and replaced one of those with a supervisor of a lower rank than what previously was there. And then the other administrative position he's eliminated, but those duties have to go somewhere. And he has split those up and has been working on where those are going to land. He's also utilizing some skills and abilities of his existing staff members to kind of back each other up a lot more than maybe what has been utilized. So as I observed last week in your meeting, it was, can we stop bringing changes and get the implementation done and go from there? That makes a lot of sense to me, and I think as the job descriptions are updated, that's where I can see if any, just because a job has duties changed or added doesn't automatically mean that it needs to move. But during the job descriptions and the sheriff looking at those, there's likely 1 or 2 that will happen to, and I would bring those to you, I think, at a later time, probably through the county councilor, I assume, however you want that to be done. But for now, we kind of need to ask for action shortly on that. It's assistant jail supervisor because it doesn't exist on the salary schedule now. It's a brand new position, so
So you're saying pay grade 40,
40. Mhm.
so that's 1905, right?
Yeah, 1902. Oh, do I have the wrong one? I have the wrong one with me, sorry. 19, yes. I grabbed the wrong.
I'm assuming this is correct.
Lisa, do you want this one?
Yeah,
I mean, because,
it's probably that in my bag.
okay, well, this is wrong then. This one says 1905, but in the book, the pink one's 1902.
Thank you. Right, on that.
That version goes away, thank you.
But
Yes. Yeah, 329. And again, not to add to the frustration level at all, this is kind of how things, I mean, this salary schedule, we've talked about it before, is kind of a living, breathing document. As changes have happened in your county, you are going to be faced with this. It shouldn't be on a weekly basis by any means, but it just so happens that with the election, a new elected official, you know, they're going to do some reorganization. So,
Want to turn that into a motion?
I would just wonder, do we need a new organizational chart to, with that on it, to just approve that and that position?
That'd be it.
is that typically what you do is you get a new org chart? Actually, and in a couple of weeks, that would also be able to incorporate those other duties that you're shifting around from in administration.
Whatever the commission
I
wants.
just want to get, you've placed that assistant supervisor for now, correct, is a correction officer too, I think. And that would be fine if we can get it done maybe by May 1st. Then you could do all of them at once on a new org chart. If that's kind of how you usually operate, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm used to seeing an organizational chart, but
Okay,
I'm not probably correct on that, but.
okay. Does that make sense?
We kind of need the organizational chart with it on it before we can approve the position, because if we just approve the position, it's not on the chart. That's my thinking.
Sure. No, that's fine. Okay. We'll just,
You want to weigh in on that? I see. Looked like you had something you wanted to
Well,
say.
Yeah.
red flag.
Wheels are spinning, so this is somewhat similar, although a little different than when the county engineer came in and he had an organizational chart. He was moving people around, so I would tend to agree if you're adding positions, they need to go through that organizational chart now that I'm just processing it in my head. The unique part of what the sheriff is trying to do though is he has an entirely new command structure and he has different terminology and different things that he wants to put in place as it relates to what the duties and responsibilities of his employees are, but we still need to have an organizational chart. And I think once that's done, and as Bob suggested, that can be approved and to treat the sheriff the same as what the other departments are being, the expectations are, I guess. So that chart can be presented. If it passes muster with the board, then a motion can be prepared and move forward. That's my suggestion.
Fine by me.
that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, Tom?
Whatever the board wants.
Okay.
$1
Yeah. Okay, so I'll turn to the Human Resources Audit Executive Overview, and I have a document for you this morning. This marks my last scheduled site visit to Coffee County. It's been a great relationship, and I was looking back, this actually kind of started in October of 2018, was when I was first asked, not as a consultant, comp study or anything else. I think it really came through KAC or the Kansas HR Association, one of the two, kind of recommended to your wellness committee that they asked me for some assistance in talking about HR and talking about some of the various issues that were going on. It was July of 19, I was contacted in 18, and July of 19 is when they actually asked me to come down and visit. And then you decided to do a case study, and I affiliate with the independent consultant, but I affiliate with McGrath. They do case studies, so we kind of have worked on that. But it's been good, and hopefully, I know it's not without pain, but you're a great county to work for. I really have had great relationships with the employees, openness and willingness to talk and do anything really that we've asked them to do. So this report is just kind of an overview. And I won't read this to you. It is something you get to take home. Your pleasure, yes. But I do want to cover a few things for your benefit and for the benefit of those in attendance. Overall, the objective of a human resources audit is to identify gaps between what is and what should be or could be in an organization. Assessing the organization's compliance with legal requirements related to employment is important, but equally valuable is to review the conformity countywide and across departments and see if overall best practices are being used in human resources. I want to specifically and very publicly emphasize that the objective of this report and this audit is to produce a book of opportunities. It's not intended to insinuate that any current employee is doing anything intentionally wrong for the county. Human resources practices in any organization evolve over time. And when you don't have a centralized human resources function, one department head inherits it, what the last one did, over and over. And when you inherit something, you interpret it maybe a little bit differently. Things happen. What's also difficult for department heads, I believe, is that they need to be the subject matter expertise in their department that they were either elected or appointed for. But in addition to that, because employees are an important part of their department and their functions for the county, they suddenly have to understand federal and state employment laws and best practices. And over time, again, sometimes it's just hard to keep up on. So the purpose of the audit is to assist you and assist the administration, not to place any blame or point any fingers. And I think that's very, very important. The methodology, what we used in this audit, it can vary. It depends on the needs of the organization, the structure. We kind of develop it as we have our initial talks with you. So clear back a year ago is when we started developing the areas that we really felt we needed to focus on and look at. There are 11 different areas that are listed on page 5 that we focused on: hiring and recruitment, succession planning, records management, administrative policies, onboarding orientation, wage, salary, and benefit administration, payroll practices, compliance and processes, employee employment policies and procedures, which is your employee handbook, engagement and employment perceptions, performance management, and then human resources management services. And throughout looking at this, we use best practices, but of course we use federal and state laws extensively to double check compliance. Some of the ways that we gathered data included interviews, and these interviews started again clear back with the compensation and classification study. And I would say for me, it started back in 2019 when I first came down. There was some conflict mediation consultants hired, 2018, I think it was, and I was provided information, their public documents from that, couple of different sessions you had with them. That was helpful for background. We did interviews with commissioners, department heads, group employee interviews. We did an employee focus survey. I'll spend just touch on that a little bit. The employee focus survey is a good tool that we use fairly frequently when we can. Coffee County has about 150 employees, and I really like doing one-on-one employee focus surveys, but with 150, you really can't. That's kind of impractical. So what we did was we chose 20%. We left out department heads and elected officials. We put all the other names in the computer, and we had a randomizer pick 20% for each department. And then we had to pick several alternatives. So if someone had a conflict or just didn't want to participate, they didn't have to. So with that 20%, we had 33 employees that were invited to participate in one-on-one in-person interviews. 2 of us came down to do those. They were all asked the same 35 questions, and they were given a Likert scale to answer, and it was very limited. They could strongly agree, disagree, or strongly disagree. And you'll notice that we did not give them the middle answer, popular answer, which is neither agree or disagree. And that was very purposeful, because we want to force you to make a decision. Do you agree or you disagree with this statement? It's pretty easy to just be middle of the road because it doesn't raise any conflict that way. So these settings were short. We asked the 35 questions. There were 3 additional questions if you were a supervisor. And then we would circle back and get some clarification, particularly on the strongly disagree or disagree, or if it's something that we thought they kind of hesitated on, we would ask for a little more information. After we completed those, we put out an online survey of the same 35 questions. And that survey was open to all department heads, elected officials, and employees. What's important to note with that online survey is that employees were required to put their name, their department, and a contact number. And there were a couple of reasons for that. One, I feel it's very important that everyone own up to what they're saying, because that information was going to us as consultants. It wasn't being identified by the person and broadcast as Lisa said this. Also, it was a way that we could double check and make sure that each person had one, or reduce the likelihood that someone answered more than one questionnaire to skew the survey. So we had one person that did not enter their contact information, and so their answers were not utilized. But not counting that submission, 89 employees chose to do the online survey. I bring those numbers up because when you look at research for surveys, a pretty good response rate is 40 to 55%. And if they're anonymous surveys, you're closer to the 55%. If they've been surveyed a lot and they've not seen results, they're going to be 40% or below. And so as I look at Coffee County, it was not anonymous. And you actually have done some surveys in the past, and we got a number of people who were felt like they had not been seeing results of those surveys, whether or not there had been. So we were just thrilled to see an 82% participation rate from your employees. I've not had a participation rate that high. I think that speaks well for every level of this organization. One is the employees willing to say, we want our voices heard and we're willing to step out there and do it. They appreciated the opportunity. The second was really you as commissioners having a third party come in. I think they were maybe more willing to answer those questions, and it showed that you were interested in what they had to say. So 82% is very, very good. We used that focus survey, analyzed the results, summarized them. They were used in a number of ways. One is, of course, just to get a kind of a temperature of what's going on in the organization. Secondly, as you go through interviews, and I think this is true of any organization, you hear themes, either positive or negative, but unfortunately, a lot of times they're negative, kind of a little reoccurring theme. And you get that in your head, and I can be as guilty as anyone, and you think, oh, okay, they have a problem with X. Well, by having these survey results, we could go back and look and say, we heard some grumbling about one particular problem or another, but the survey didn't really hold up to that. So let's not give it more weight than it should be given. Other times, we've heard some grumbling about such and such, and yes, that does seem to be widespread. We need to look further into that. So that's how we use that survey. And I think that will be an area that you can also use as commissioners in the future. So this executive document is designed to be an overview of the methodology. It talks about the various topics and why they're important to your county. And with any audit, such as your financial audit, there is a potential for findings and recommendations that are legal in nature, and thus they must be presented in executive session through legal counsel. So all findings and recommendations portion of the audit were made in a separate legal document that's held by the county counselor. And with that, I was to turn to Wade.
I think you seen it coming, he got it left.
He did, he ran. With that, if you have any questions about this basic one, but we would then be requesting an executive session to go into the document that Wade has.
And that might have been what he went to retrieve. Without him being here, I'm not sure what.
Any questions about this part right now?
This is the first time I've ever seen this study. Got four areas and not one said no opinion. And you classified or you classified why that wasn't part of it.
Oh, to have no opinion, yeah.
Every study I've ever seen, there's always been 5 apart. 5.
Oh, gotcha, on the Likert scale, yeah.
And the middle one's no opinion.
Yeah. Either yes or no,
I've never
because
seen
that's where they're gonna
I've never
land.
seen one that's just totally up and down.
And that,
But I can see the methodology or whatever you want to call it. I can see the reason behind that, so.
it really, you can see it when you ask people, because I'm the same way. If I'm like, well, I don't know, this is pretty good, but, well, I'll just say a 3,
Too easy to mark no
It
opinion.
is.
Too easy to mark no opinion.
But then they'd stop and think, and we had, you have several people that will say, oh, I agree. Well, actually, no, I think I will go with disagree, or vice versa. So. And again, I do like it because it keeps in perspective for all of us, and it will for you as well. The little grumblings you hear, I liken it to going to the doctor and having your blood pressure checked. You have a high blood pressure check. Is that an anomaly because you have white coat syndrome and it's a one-time thing? Or is it a trend that you're gonna, that you need to look at further? And this kind of does that. You have a group interview and one person mentions something they're unhappy with, and a bunch of people kind of nod their head and go along with it. But when you ask in another manner, sometimes you get a better temperature check.
Well, we have on here, we're gonna take a break at 9:50, it's 9:45, we can take a short break,
Okay.
wait for Wade to come back.
Sure.
If that's all right.
I'm yours for the day, like you guys mentioned.
I think,
Monday
I think it's a good idea, just in the morning, just go over what we're gonna vote on, and then maybe go to lunch, think about it, come back, spend another hour and vote on it. Be done. I'm sorry, I haven't signed that yet. And we're rolling.
Walking down.
Well, we'll take that 10-minute break. We're
The
gonna,
wrap for today, we're at now.
we're gonna take a quick 10-minute break that's on at 9:50.
That'd be about the time.
And
Sure, Tom.
and she's wanting to do an executive session. For whatever reason,
There he is.
you didn't find him
He texted me and said, I'm on my way.
either? Oh,
Are your executive sessions in the Eco Depot room
Yes.
still? Okay,
Yes,
I might go ahead and take my stuff up there and.
that's fine, and then just tell Rhonda we'll be on our way.
Okay, will do.
Lisa.
Yes. Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
I think when they have meetings down there and they shuffle stuff around, some of that stuff disappears, because I cannot find that.
I mean, I don't.
I know I had a time sheet of the salary, everybody else said I can't find it.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant right now, but I'm gonna make sure I get one by next week. So, for when, we have that department head discussion. And it could be, I'll search a little bit more before I leave.
Okay, so this was everything that was the most updated.
Mhm. And see, mine are gone. And I might have took them to the office. I'll check that. Sometimes I do that just so I can look over a little deeper. Okay.
Every county's different on how they, some they,
Okay. Yeah, I'm not wrong.
All day long.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Veronica told
Yeah, no,
me that I've used this whole time. She was like, and then exactly I said that. She didn't even be gone, but she's.
okay, yeah, no, thank you. We went down to Frontenac yesterday, granddaughter's going to college in Pittsburgh.
That's what it was, we get out Christmas.
Right? Yeah, we was down there in Frontenac Sunday, just going, they bought a house down there in Hornsville.
Yeah.
No, it was.
Oh.
So, made a run on it, she ended up on the dyno, so we got there, loaded up the trailer, bring it home. Total waste of time.
Oh, you got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was trying to get 1,500 horses. We was getting close. We was about 50 horses. Injector messed up, cart pulled through, piston. 5 holes are good, if that one, just that 6 hole. Different set of injector, pulled piston out. One, put a new sleeve in it. Start over again. So. Sad part, you know, getting more. We probably won't be able to.
Everything's lumped together. They are.
But Jeremy Randy bought a nice little house.
I'm sorry?
My son and his wife bought a nice little house for his daughter down, from my granddad down in
You know, I think I've been in Frontenac, but I can't, it's been so long.
I'm not sure if I've ever been.
I know I have.
I've been there. You don't wanna make that bar downtown famous?
I wish it was in Tulsa. First their chicken places.
I seen sometimes.
Chicken Annie's,
Yeah.
Chicken Mary's, and gift cards. And I'm sure I'm leaving some out. Frontenac had the bakery that always did the Italian bread. And they closed it down. It's hard to know.
It's nice looking little town.
Yeah, it is.
In Pittsburgh, she's.
What year was it that, the big F5 tornado went through there? We went down there like 2 weeks after that.
Their house has a big patio and a carport deal and whatnot. Get one of those metal tornado shelters, anchor it to the concrete.
Good morning, Karen, how are you?
Or build some new homes, so.
It works in the snow.
They at the stoplight, headed north, everything to the east
Why is it snowing?
of there is where that went through.
It shouldn't snow.
And it is.
Out in western Kansas and.
That's kind of where she is. She's east of the stoplight.
And to the north is where that really is.
The last week of March, we
Sad.
had 2 back-to-back snowstorms, about 20 inches.
Well, our 10 minutes is up, Wade. I know Lisa wanted the executive session, and I believe you're aware of that, so I guess we'll let you come up with the terminology.
So let me come stand in front of you. Request a motion for the commission to recess into executive session for consultation with the county counselor, and that executive session to include the board, myself, and our HR consultant, to discuss current county policy and priorities related to potential exposure to Coffee County that relate to the human resources review and audit. And if those particular matters that outside of what's been exposed or talked about in an open session today were to be discussed in an open session, they include matters that would be privileged under the attorney-client exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. That would be KSA 754319B2. In essence, the subject matter for the executive session is discussion of current county policy and county priorities related to potential exposure to Coffee County related to the HR review and audit conducted by McGrath.
For
25 or 30 minutes.
let's just do 30.
I'll move.
Just moved
All second.
and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're going at 10 o'clock. 10:30.
Wade, do we need to take this document with us?
Sure.
Thanks, Mark. To begin when?
We're gonna be back at 10:30.
Okay.
10:30 to 10:30.
Thank you. He's gonna have them do a new one.
Okay. I'm good. Hey, you lawyer, I'm good. That's what I'm saying, the blind lead the blind. I'll give you sometime. our capabilities are right now. Well, it's usually the jail and but right now, that we said, everybody that's in there currently, and then that stuff that's happened this past week. The agenda itself should be able to do something completely, but it's missing information, like, like the rest of the agency, sometimes the bonds on there, if they're released, there's some other information that's missing. Right offhand, I can't think of what, there's like two or three different categories that are missing. And I'm calling them and asking that. I think she's been working with it, that's why we got this current list, and it's a little bit closer. It's almost so you don't mind just, I think we call it, hey, it's one is one. They're usually really good about doing that.
Mhm.
Track meets will be held tomorrow.
I don't know.
Our big track meets in Burlington here tomorrow.
Oh, really? All right, thank you. So we're back? Yeah, everybody's here.
So there's another request under the same ground, same people, same subject matter to recess into executive session for another 30 minutes. And the question was asked while we're doing this, why don't we do it for a longer period of time? That can be done, but in my mind, my personal opinion is that to do it in a smaller sections allows for more transparency so the public can see, this is the same subject matter, that there is additional time that needs to be spent. And people may disagree on that opinion, but that's my opinion.
So I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're going at 10:35, 7:05.
Make a loop, make a route, make a route.
I'm sure we'll work with this before the day's out. You know that?
All your favorite winners win last night in CMA? Didn't? I didn't either. I got it looked at this morning.
He brings back. It's a real deal.
Yeah, he's very good.
I can go back. I copied it and I'll just go back.
I can get by without it. Not me. I can, but I don't want to.
Love card, somebody that. Your company?
Yeah, I know. Guess we're gonna do, kind of work through lunch thing, is pizza and iced teas okay with everybody, or? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Something like that.
Any certain kind?
Casey's,
Casey?
no certain time, we'll just however many pieces you think we need for this many people, and drinks wise, I didn't really ask anybody what they wanted.
Usually we just make iced tea,
There you
if
go.
that's okay with
Yeah,
everyone.
that would be great. You either make iced tea or water, so, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
And then we can just set up in the kitchen, is that okay?
Over there,
Kitchen,
kitchen, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. There's a counter out there, whatever you wanna do,
okay.
leave that part up to you. We gotta wait on a couple more to come back, taking a short break, so. We're just gonna kinda work through this, but
Plan on eating in here, Tom, or during the work session out there?
just grab a plate, go,
Grab a plate and roll.
whatever. We'll make it work however we need to make it work.
I caution you, if you're using the word work session, I think that would probably need to be in the open if we're doing something different. I mean, for example, an executive session, if you wanted to take food with you, then that's a little, that's different, but just terminology, I think if you're doing a work session and it's not here where people can see it, then I understand.
I used the wrong wording there, but
That's-
yeah, we can just grab a piece of pizza and go on back in executive session or take a short break when we come back in between, that's fine by me, whichever.
I just wanted to make sure I got to thinking when you said work session.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure. So same topic, same reasoning for another 30 minutes, same people. It's, again, still remains under the attorney-client exception, under the same subject matter. So 30 minutes at a time is still my recommendation.
Thumbs moved,
I'll
all
second.
Tim seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll go in at 11:12, that'll give us 3 minutes to get up there. And yeah, as far as pizza, it's whether it's supreme and meatballs and.
No.
Some
Does anyone like?
All right. That's kind of like on Friday night, with dartboard and.
Are you guys good with that? Like, in meat lovers, taco?
Yeah.
You think I?
Thanks for asking.
You gonna stick around for pizza?
Starting at 11, 12.
11, 12 for 30 minutes. To 11:42.
Yeah.
So I guess we go upstairs and
Okay, good with that.
and it was Dawn and Tim.
That's something. Tim made the motion.
Morning, ladies.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Dawn
Oh,
moved
Tom.
and Tim seconded. Okay. So ordering pizza's really easy. I'll put the tea in this one, if you just want to fill that one with water. Probably about half full, and then when we get to the kitchen, we'll pull out stuff. Hey, how are you? Yes, they're in the executive session right now. It'll be, let's see. Oh, no, well, no, it's gonna be. Yeah, because they went in for 30 minutes.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Executive session.
That was
I
fast.
was 15.
I think it was 11:42, so we're coming back.
Oh,
Probably go into another executive session. 30 minutes.
you think so?
This is the third one.
Oh, wow.
For 30 minutes each.
Well, we'll see how long I stay down here.
So I brought that over to. Not knowing what's happening.
There you go, I'll just check my email.
These chairs, we split them, I slid right off of it.
I know, depending on what your pants are made of, too. I'm like,
We can't let them get too comfortable, right?
I know it.
Don't wanna sit here all day then.
Yeah, pretty comfy.
Everything is going on. Yeah.
Hi.
How we do it?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah.
I got stuff. I'm gonna get more stuff.
Here we go.
Increase coverage of that. None. One station.
That's it.
One station. You explain that to me. And I had.
We are back.
Oh, everybody's back.
Everybody back.
As much as I don't like to keep asking for executive sessions, the subject matter is especially important that it be discussed in executive session. It's the same topic, same people, same exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. It's the attorney-client exception, then another 30 minutes.
So moved.
All second.
Tim seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
11:46, we'll go in for 30 minutes.
Well, we want.
Oh, I said that. I said that, and then it was 11:45. I better get 2-3 minutes.
That's okay, yes. Does make it, get good at it.
I never have that.
Yeah.
What time did they call?
Another 30 minutes,
Starting at 45?
11:46.
46?
Back at 12:16. 12:16. That's the fourth one, right?
I don't really know. I'm not at our computer, so I just read it down.
You're good, that's true.
Getting lots of work done while they're in executive.
Yeah, come get caught up on stuff, yeah. Stuff I was trying to figure out what it was gonna do, but it's working so far. Sounds like we're going to be going in into the afternoon pretty good.
Okay. All right, thanks.
We're gonna go get some ice though.
Thank you.
Well, we're about to go into the meeting.
We're gonna recess.
I can shut up.
Have to get a hold of Brad, get the camera shut off. Tom knows how to shut it off.
Yep. We're back. We're gonna recess for 20 minutes. We have a quick bite. Come back and that time will be at 12:20.
That's what time you're recessing.
They're recessing now until
20 minutes.
See, it just turned 12:20.
Okay, at 12:20 you're recessing
Pardon me?
until 12:40.
Correct. I'm sorry. I just said, yeah, we'll stop it.
Just wanna make sure I put it in right.
So I just got the screen paused right now. There's, they put the pizza down here in the kitchen. Everyone want some?
It's just outside the room.
I thought it was. You mentioned it.
The 128. Sounds good to me. All right, thank you, Drew.
Hey, you doing all right? Good. I'm just checking on you, man. All right.
I'll take tea. Yeah.
Yeah, probably already arrived. Corner plates.
Boy, you look hungry. Get in there, Yeah.
I found myself Friday looking for $1,286. But between, like, did I get everything transferred over right and highlighted right? Just about was like, okay, I'm gonna have to just have somebody read, that's when you wish you had someone else in the office to read numbers to you, because I did finally find it, then it's like, okay, this is getting late, but we're getting.
Yeah.
So whenever you have time to,
Yeah, anytime.
go back and forth on a few that probably are fine and, but just would be good to double check, because I didn't see them the same way, or maybe they weren't green highlighted and.
Well, and I think I had a few small changes from the spreadsheet you have too, so,
Good.
it might correct itself now, so.
Yeah.
So, RFQ,
Oh, yeah, yeah. So see, I need to be ready for a second.
I will drink too. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's your son getting along?
I have a little low right now at school, but thank goodness the nurses are there to handle it. It's good.
Amazing, technology.
She had you use, new vet out there.
The new, that, David Haynes?
Yeah.
I haven't used him on anything. I think my brother has.
Take a while. I like it.
You poured the concrete up there at the bank,
Yeah, I hauled out,
you been trying to pour the concrete up there at the first
worked
bank
them, wouldn't smooth.
on the sidewalk.
David's real calm.
Yes, he is.
See old Doc Clarkson, old Jerry, he was a big animal vet. He wasn't a small animal vet. Dogs, cats, stuff like that. He was okay, but he liked the horses and the cows,
Yeah.
pigs and sheep, stuff like that. Well, I tell you, that new Casey's in Lebo, you better be ready to stand for a little while if you go in there. Ever since they opened it up, that interstate traffic is just
It's open all right.
pouring in there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't go.
15th, I think.
I went there Saturday night and fueled up.
Yeah, they just pouring in there.
I was back from Emporia. It's not.
I thought that looked like a new sign or a new something. I don't remember seeing that before when I was coming in on Thursday.
That's a very good idea on their part.
Yeah, I would say their business will double if not triple, so far from what I've seen.
Have diesel
Yeah, that needed to be done in there, but
and E85, a little less percent ethanol gas. I think they had 3 grades.
yeah, they do, yeah. You don't find it because
Look,
it's carry
kids here.
E80.
There you go.
You don't have to do that.
They were down in the LC.
Thank you. Want any hot peppers, Bob? Anybody else want any hot pepper? Nick, I'm good.
I'll have.
I want some, but there's no beer around.
About a 5-minute walk. I can fix that.
I was thinking of it, I wasn't gonna say that.
Oh, I don't care.
We're gonna walk 5 minutes from here and do that.
It's got 4 wheels.
Oh, yeah, that's not walking.
No, I'm gonna walk to my truck.
I see.
You gotta be prepared.
Emergency kit.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a little wine in there even.
Jim Wade was hosting a track meet here in Burlington tomorrow. I bet that'll be,
Maybe.
I bet they'll postpone it.
Let's say they would. What time is the snow supposed to start?
About the time the drop is. 9 o'clock.
We're not supposed to get any down here, really.
Oh, really?
Down,
Trade.
down pretty long.
That means we're not either, right?
That's what they said this morning.
That means we'll get 3 feet.
Mike Thompson always told me, he said, I can tell you exactly what's gonna happen, maybe within 12 hours before it happens. Better than that, I ain't got a clue.
Well, I live 7 miles south of Interstate 70. And invariably, just like this, we're in a winter weather advisory. 1 inch along and south of, along and south of 35, I guess. 2 to 4 inches along and north of Interstate 70. But they'll say, like 2 inches north of I-70, 4 inches south of I-70. Well, 7 miles isn't a lot. It can go anywhere from that, but yeah, 2 to 4 for us, starting midnight, I think. It's the wind that it'll go away fast, but just depends on how the winds are.
I went to Arnold's last weekend and spent $200 on flowers sitting on my porch that are sitting on my dining room table because I'm afraid to put them on my porch.
All out west.
That's good, otherwise you'd be tucking them in every night.
Yeah,
I know.
how slow it is
I'm
coming
wasting
back.
$200.
I've never been there.
No, but I've got some, and it's might have been slow, but I don't know about out west. We can go, there's nothing, no sign of anything.
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm belling.
I've got 2 bigger centers.
We-
that are already-
I got some really nice.
Yeah.
ones.
Years ago,
That's
Was it
I like the flowers, that's an investment.
kind
But I
of
like
the same thing, and they didn't have grass out on the Flint
My
Hills is
husband won't let me
still
plant flowers because he
huge.
didn't want to mow around them,
Yeah.
so I
And they're
have all
rated
these
James
pots on
Wood
my
and
porch.
not there.
And that's the other thing, they've already put everything out there.
Your file folder's a little full.
And they've already kicked cattle out on most of it.
All that,
What are they gonna eat?
touch it, and it goes
Only
up.
thing you read is what they burn.
That's
good. That's all we read.
That's why my head's
Maybe 3 years ago, I brought my own
big and I have a
big
big
ball
back.
problem over that, you never came down.
I thought you were gonna say that's why you see all of it, so that it absorbs easier, no, nothing in between.
If I could do
But I can burn a
something.
little fire part that, and all that burn.
I would, but,
Yeah.
well, I could, but
So thick and dry, I had to get it off.
I thought that joking, not getting 2 pages to wear it, and wear it sideways and see who my true friends were. And actually say something.
I would tell you.
Or as they're talking to you, their eyes are right there the whole time.
And it'd be really good if I did it in a jury trial and asking potential jurors questions. Am I seeing something?
There's something wrong.
Behind you, what's going on?
Lucky, that's the,
So now we know what prosecuting attorneys can look for now. What things they can do in the courtroom.
so that's the tip of the iceberg.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's no one for you to eat this.
Not to be morbid or if you've had a chance to see it or not. Several weeks done like I would recommend you watch it, but
I've seen more.
the,
That was a bad joke.
the shooting in Chicago where their citizen review board had the shooting footage, the body cam footage released of the 13-year-old that was shot and killed.
Was that Dante?
This is a different one. There had been shots fired, all for shots fired, and then there were 2 suspects. One of them ran, ends up being, find out later, it's a 13-year-old, but the officer has to make a decision in a pretty quick way.
It's tough to watch.
Very difficult to watch.
Why would a 13-year-old been out at 2 o'clock in the morning anyway? Where's the parents?
Chicago.
Do they have a gun?
So that's what's gonna be highly scrutinized because there was a handgun found a little bit down from where he was shot. And the question that will have to be answered is, was the kid's hands up and was he a threat at that point? And when you have that much time to make a decision, well, that's,
Did you see the video that MSNBC shared and then the one that I think Fox shared?
2 different videos.
Oh, probably.
I think different angle, but it looked different.
And the news media hadn't said a word about the 7-year-old who got shot in drive-by shootings in Chicago.
No.
They don't say a word about that, but since a cop was involved in this one, we're gonna take it to the hill.
Maxine Waters' statement. A little bit on
I
Fox.
thought that was a video that he's talking about, it'd be hard to watch.
A little bit on Fox. Yeah, it is. A little bit on Fox about it. None on MSNBC, CNN.
It's just silly. I like these great, these TV stations are news stations.
Cannot eat taco pizza or anything.
So I'm waiting.
What I do, leave it on.